Hi everyone, I'm back and I'm here with Tucker with Grafton Funding. Hi Ian, how are you doing today?
Hey Dena, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So Tucker does investment commercial financing. So I know I've done a couple deals. I've known you for a little while and I like your backstory. I like what you do and kind of how you came about doing, commercial financing. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and kind of your background story a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I'm Irish. I'm from Ireland. I've lived in Houston for, going on 6 years, nearly 6 years. My wife is a Houstonian. My background is I was in the restaurant and bar business in Ireland for a long time, 15 years or so. Owned a few venues there. I met my wife there. And then being in the restaurant business, I also did a lot of business consulting with business owners, helping them with their back of house books and finance and accounting and all that kind of stuff. And then that kind of led me to helping them source financing when they needed it for their business. And that kind of led me to what I do now, which is Grafton Funding, which is my company that's a commercial financing company. So we do all types of business loans, so everything from working capital, equipment financing, commercial real estate, and then we specialize in investment property financing as well, which I guess is the main reason I'm here today.
Okay, and so in investment properties, what type of properties do you?
So anything that's not owner occupied. Okay. So we do all types of investment properties from both commercial and residential. So commercial being strip malls, warehouses, standalone restaurant buildings, et cetera, and then residential investment properties. So single family rental homes, that you want to buy and have a tenant in, fix and flip financing, single family duplex, 1 to 4 properties, multifamily, et cetera.
What's the market like right now for investment properties?
Certainly for fix and flip, it's financing. You know yourself, it's the real estate market in general is crazy right now. It really is. So anyone that we're doing quite a lot of refinancing actually of rental properties and cash out refinancing type stuff, because obviously the property values are so high at the moment. People are carrying a lot of equity in their properties if they already own a rental property. So doing a lot of that, refinancing and cash outs. And then fix and flips at the moment are huge, because there's not a lot of supply of the 300, 400, 500 grand type houses out there. So people that can find a $250,000 house, do some rehab to it and then flip it, they can make a lot of money and they can do it fast. So,
has that not been challenging with it being, kind of a seller's market right now and multi-offer deals, people putting multiple offers in and I'm seeing at open houses like lines going out down the street.
It is competitive for sure. And of course you would know the realty side of it a bit more than me, absolutely. Certainly from what I see with clients, it's absolutely hard to find a $350,000 home that just needs some small rehab, like in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and then they want to flip it. That's tough because those homes are flying off the shelves because people can do that work themselves. But the homes that are like maybe need a good bit of work, they're in like pretty bad way. There's still a lot of opportunity there, and those homes aren't necessarily flying as much. People can still get those homes, put maybe 50% back in on rehab on top of what they paid for it, and then sell it to the market that you say is hot right now. So there's still quite a bit of demand for that for sure.
Okay. So what is the difference between normal financial, getting financing for a residential or for an investment property? What kind of is the main difference so people understand the difference?
So the main difference is, so for most primary residence mortgages, like a home you're going to live in, you're going to do a government-backed mortgage, like a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac type mortgage. What we do is mostly private lending, which is for investment property type stuff, non-owner occupied. Also, most investment property financing you would put in the name of an entity. So the borrower would set up an entity to put the home in, mainly for legal protection, protecting themselves from litigation, because if a property's in your own name, you're at risk if anything happens of you losing that property, losing your assets. So that's a big difference. Not a huge amount of difference in terms of loan to values and rates. You know, last year when interest rates were super low for residential mortgages, there was quite a bit of difference, but now it's pretty even. You know, you might pay a little bit more for like a private commercial style investment property loan in an entity's name, tiny bit more, but not really too much more.
It's not that much more interest or anything like
Not
that?
that much more anymore at the moment. No, it's really not. You're paying a marginal little bit extra to have the protection of that home not being in your personal name. You know, and if you've got tenants, there's quite a chance that you might get sued for something. You know, so yeah, there's not that much difference. Loan to values are pretty similar. You know, so it's pretty straightforward process. Another difference is it's faster. You know, we can close a residential investment property loan a lot faster than you can close a regular mortgage for sure. So I mean, depending on the appraisal, we can close it in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that is quite a bit difference too.
Is the structure a little different? How you structure the actual loan?
For rental properties, not really. It's pretty similar. You know, you pay your down payment and then the lender lends you the rest. For something like a fix and flip type loan, yeah, it's structured very differently. And that's why there's such opportunity there, especially for first timers in investment properties, because you know, it's kind of like two loans in one. So we'll do a loan on the purchase of the property and then a loan on the rehab. So, I mean, we can lend up to 90% loan to value on the purchase. We can lend 100% of the rehab cost. And then you can flip the house in 2 months. So you can get into it for a very low amount and make your money fast and get out.
So you actually can provide the money for them to actually do the work on it.
Yeah, so we provide the rehab loan itself, yeah. And then you're paying interest only. So, you know, obviously a regular mortgage or a rental property, you're looking at a 30-year term, you know. But for a fix and flip, it's a 12-month term, but we want you to do it as fast as possible. So there's not like a prepayment penalty or anything like that. Most fix and flip loans, you're going to have it done, closed, property sold, and the loan paid off in 2 or 3 months. You're paying interest only during that time, so you're never actually paying down the principal. So also your payments even during that time are pretty low.
Oh, that sounds like a really good opportunity for first time kind of fix and flip or anyone that wants to get into an investment property.
Yeah, it really is. And I work with a lot of first time property investors, and I will kind of always recommend that if they have obviously the knowledge and the ability to manage a rehab loan, you know, because there's work goes into it obviously, that they kind of dip their toe in the market doing that type of thing first before, you know, going off buying a 500 grand rental property and dealing with that side of it. That, you know, try out something smaller, get in, get out, see how it works, see how the investment property world functions, and then maybe your second one or your third one, go do something a bit more long term.
Yeah, because you can definitely get in there and then, you know, you think you're only going to fix this little piece of it, and then all of a sudden you've knocked down a wall and there's piping issues or whatever. They haven't even done anything, or the people that lived there before haven't done anything to the house or touched anything. And
which always seems to happen in every show you watch on HGTV. Oh no, we found a burst pipe in the wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've personally experienced that, or even people buying houses, you know, and inspectors only can do so much when they go to inspect a house. They're not really looking behind the walls and seeing what's behind there. So you really don't know what that person's done for the past 20 years in that house until you actually go in and tear down a wall and see what's happening behind there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I'll always recommend someone to try and do a fix and flip type thing first. See how it goes, see how they feel about it, and then just kind of go from there, you know. And also, it's very easy to get approved as a first-time flipper. You know, it's not like, oh, you've never done it before, we can't give you money. We can, you know. It's pretty easy to get approved.
Huh. What are the stipulations or what are the qualifications for?
I mean, credit score is one. Obviously, we generally won't go below probably a 680 credit score. And then just that you have enough liquid assets to cover your down payment, which, like I said, could be as low as 10% on the purchase, and that's it. And then to cover usually 3 to 6 months of interest payments on the loan. You know, if it took longer, that's really it. I mean, we don't really.
So you do have to have a little bit more cash, I guess.
You have a little bit of cash, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but again, even those payments, it's interest only, so the payments aren't like thousands and thousands of dollars. You know, so that does help. But that's kind of it. I mean, different to a mortgage application, we're not looking at your income. We don't care what you earn, all that kind of stuff. It's, do you have enough cash to cover the down payment and a couple of months of the project? And what's your credit score? I mean, that's kind of really it, really.
How do you see things going in the next 6 months, from now? Like 6 months to a year?
I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, some people think we're in a bubble, some don't. It's really hard. Like, I don't really know. I don't see the fix and flip rehab market ever going away, being honest. I really don't. I mean, back in 2005 when things were amazing in property, that existed. In 2010, after things had fallen, that existed. Now it exists, so I don't really see that changing ever. And then there's always going to be a market for owning rental properties because everyone always wants to rent somewhere. I mean, everyone needs somewhere to live.
Yeah, and I feel like Houston's always kind of been steady, even when the market crashed. I mean, I guess you weren't here in '09, but even when the market kind of crashed and stuff, I mean, we always kind of stayed steady as far as the real estate market in Houston, just because we always have people coming in like yourself, moving here, and
it never goes super low and it never goes super high. It's always it kind of trades in a range, I guess.
So, what advice would you give maybe first-time fix and flip person?
Well, you're going to like my answer. I would say get an amazing realtor.
Oh yeah, that's a great answer. I like that one.
No, really, like a lot of people that want to do investment properties don't think they need a realtor. Oh yeah, I see that house there that looks like it needs some work. I'll buy that. I'll put some money into it. And
what do you think is the advantage of having a realtor?
Well, the advantage of having a realtor is, when it comes to that kind of stuff, is primarily, well, when you do the work, what's it going to be worth? What are the comps in the area? How much can I get for this home after I sell it? Is this a good area for now or for the future, where people move in there, while the schools, like all those things that that you do it for a living.
Absolutely.
So I would highly recommend that anyone involved in investment properties uses a realtor. Absolutely. That'd be my number one tip.
I would agree. It's definitely important. I have many clients that do it, and we do have to do the research for them. We have to kind of make sure that it's a sound investment and that it makes sense, that they'll actually make a return on that investment that they're putting in, because time is money for everybody.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it,
Well, if someone wants to know some more information about it and give you a call, why don't you give everyone your contact information?
Sure. So graftonfunding.com, so GRAFTON funding.com. I'll give my cell, it's the easiest way to get me, 346-610-5409, and info@graftonfunding.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for
I
having
really
me.
appreciate it.
This is great.
We'll be right back after a commercial break. Thank you.